me or watch me do this. We'll see how it works. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll put the PowerPoint up along with it so you can go back and listen to me talk. That's a good idea. All right. So while you're reading the text, especially 11, and you're writing this, you're going to ask yourself the primary and most important question. Who is doing the speaking when we're analyzing speaker? Is it the author Sandra Cisneros? Is it? Okay. Don't confuse the author with the speaker. They are two separate people, two different voices. Sandra Cisneros is the author, but is she the speaker? I think that if you read the 2-page essay, you'd understand who the speaker is. Sometimes, for example, it could be Jim from the New York Times, but the speaker is a guy who is doing an op-ed trying to influence people to steer clear of a new product. He's reviewing a product and he says it sucks. So he could be the reporter. He could also be a guy trying to steer people clear of buying a new product. In our case, is it Sandra Cisneros or is it somebody else who is the speaker? I'm not going to answer that because that's for your essay. Ask yourself, what is the point of the speaker? Okay? Why do we care who is speaking? If Sandra Cisneros wrote it, is she actually doing the speaking? How does that influence the text? If you think Sandra Cisneros is the speaker and she's a woman who's like 49 and old like me, then how does she have credibility as a writer, right? Okay. How does that influence you as a reader if you think an old woman wrote it? But maybe she didn't. Maybe she's not the speaker. Who is speaking to the reader? Is it an economist? Is it a fashion guru? Is it your teacher? Is it a lawmaker? No, no, no. You need to read the whole thing, and I'm not giving you the answer. Read it. All right, occasion. So we did speaker. That's the first part. Now, when I said in class, don't make it blocky, I meant don't write speaker and then underline it. You can make each one of these things, each 6 parts to SOAPStone, its own paragraph. That's fine. But don't say, okay, I'm writing about speaker now. I know that you're going to write about speaker because I can tell by reading the paragraph, okay? So don't put speaker and then underline and then have a whole paragraph on speaker. No, just talk about the speaker in your first paragraph. And in your second paragraph, if you want to talk about occasion, fine, talk about occasion right there, okay? So let's talk about occasion. What is occasion? When you're reading, it's important to determine what event is influencing the text. Now, we read that she is talking about turning 11 in the text. Is that the only thing that influenced her, talking about age 11? I'm not going to give you the answer because that wouldn't be fair, would it? Why do we write? Why is Sandra Cisneros writing? Why does it matter? Do we write just about anything and everything, or are we just influenced to write? Why is she writing about the age 11? Ask yourself, why is this person writing this text now? What major event or occurrence inspired this piece of writing? Is it only that she's turning 11? I wonder what else happened. Are they writing in response to a new law, an ongoing war, a celebrity mishap? Is Lindsay Lohan sniffing coke again? No. A major world crisis. We talked about Tahrir Square today in class. You could write about that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 11 by Sandra Cisneros. All right, third one, audience. When reading the text, it's important to determine who the audience is. Is it your teacher? I'm going to give you the big no. It wasn't me that she's writing to. Don't think an article on health risks of elementary school cafeteria food is an article for anyone. Who do you think would be interested in an article like that? Okay? If we were to write an article for the student newspaper at ASA, if there were one, about the cafeteria food and what you guys find in your cafeteria food, who do you think would be interested in that article? Would it be you? Maybe. Who else would be interested in it? Think about it. I'm not going to give you the answers. Ask yourself also, who's the intended audience for the text? Is it written for a specific audience, or is it written for a general audience? Can a piece be written for everybody, or just certain people? Is the audience financial experts, stay-at-home mothers, college students, athletes, things like that? You have to understand that audience, it has to be very specific. Okay, fourth, purpose, fourth paragraph. So you're not going to write purpose, you're just going to write about the purpose. What is the purpose of the text? Okay, when we're reading the text of 11, what is the purpose of understanding that text? What do we as readers get from understanding it? I talked and blabbed a lot about that today in class. If you guys didn't get anything from that, you should have at least gotten something that I blabbed about in class, okay? So what was the purpose of the writing? What was it intended to do? I mean, there's a hell of a lot more in that writing than I think that you guys actually thought about initially. And maybe because I put my own perspective on it. This in purpose is when you start to say, okay, when I analyze it, when I annotate it, because remember, when you're first reading an essay, you're going to annotate it, like we talked about in class. And then you're going to go through the SOAPStone analysis using your annotations, okay? So when you're analyzing it, you bring your own perspective to that writing. And I talked a lot about how I didn't feel like I was 49, how I didn't feel like I was 50, that I felt like I was 25, and some days I felt more mature and felt 30. But there was no way in hell I felt like I was 49, right? So what's the purpose of the writing in 11, right? I don't think that you guys actually thought about that it was actually talking about our mental state and how we really feel inside rather than how we chronologically are in age, okay? So what is the purpose of the text intended to do? What is the speaker hoping to achieve when she's writing it? Is there a goal? Do you think that she's trying to convince you of something? Or is she just writing an essay? Okay? Are they trying to influence you in some way? Like politicians try to influence you to vote, or they try to influence, advertisements try to influence you to buy things like Burger King and stuff like that, or trying to save money or send your kids to a private school. How do you think ASA tries to influence you? All right. So we've got speaker, occasion, audience, subject. Okay, I think I did something here. Hold on a minute. Okay, yeah. Okay, So subject, we're up to subject. When reading the text, you have to determine the subject of the text. And I said the easiest way to do that is to find the thesis. Okay? I underlined the thesis for you guys. Every single one of you, all 50, like 3 or 4 of you, should be able to find the thesis of this, like, easy. Ask yourself, what is this piece of writing about? What is the topic concerned? Why does it matter? Okay? If we were doing another essay, which we will be, are you writing about the war in Iraq? Are we writing about the Egyptian body count of yesterday? Is there a new law that has passed? What about the EPP and killing 6 people up in Concepcion? What are we writing about here? Okay? What is the subject matter? What's the thesis? Finally, tone. What is the tone the author takes? Okay? When reading the text, one of the most important questions is, what is the tone of the text? How is the author saying what he's saying? What is his attitude? What is her attitude? When Sandra Cisneros writes about being 11, is she happy about being 11? Is she ecstatic? Is she like, remember in one of the classes I said, you walk around with your imaginary rainbow over your head, right? Hoping somebody will notice it's your birthday. So is that what she's writing about? What is her attitude toward the subject? What is her attitude toward you, the reader? I kind of talked about this, and I'm not going to tell you the answer. Is she angry, biased, persuasive, neutral? How is she feeling? How does she make you feel when you read it? That's tone. Okay, so when you're analyzing, here's some do's and don'ts. All right. Do state your point in each of the topic sentences. Okay? So for each of the 6 points of SOAPStone, you're going to state your point in the topic sentence. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're going to say what you think the purpose is. Or you're going to say what you think the occasion is, okay? Don't forget to provide why you think that and how you came to think that. Do cite your evidence, meaning you're going to have to give me evidence, meaning you're going to have to cite. You're going to have to quote. Don't use a quote without explaining its significance. So if you quote something, let's say you quote the thesis, which I underlined in class today, which you guys should all get, there's no excusing that. You underline, if you provide your quote, or you provide the thesis, and you quote it, you better damn well explain the significance of that thesis and why it is the thesis. Do put everything in paragraphs. All right, so basic paragraph structure. You're going to have your topic sentence. You're going to have your concrete detail, meaning you're going to have evidence, a quote, paraphrase of a quote, something you're going to provide evidence to support your topic sentence. Sorry, I just deleted a whole bunch of stuff. All right, you're going to have your topic sentence. One sentence that states your point and states what you're trying to prove. You're going to have your concrete detail, your first piece of evidence, your quote from the source, meaning you're actually going to quote from Sandra Cisneros. You're going to comment on that quote, 2 to 4 sentences that explains the significance of the quote. And how does this help prove your point? How does that help prove your topic sentence? Then you're going to have a second concrete detail, meaning you're going to have a second quote. Then you're going to comment on it again, and then you're going to conclude it. All in one sentence, all in one paragraph. Topic sentence, concrete detail, commentary, concrete detail, commentary, conclusive sentence. I'm going to put this PowerPoint up as well, in addition to this video. Okay? So, sorry this is long, 15 minutes, it's a long video, but you'll deal with it. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.